And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Already today is a big old Saturday. March Madness resumes in April. What is this nonsense? What are we talking about? But we got the Final Four here today going up starting at 5 o'clock, so it's going to be a good one. And I believe the finals is on Monday, so we are very, very close to the ending of March Madness. We have Gonzaga going all the way and winning, so we'll see how that pans out. We've already claimed first place in our own March Madness bracket pool, so give it up for us, I guess. So we'll do a moneymaker for today's March Madness action. We'll dabble in it very quickly today. We're also going to be breaking down the NBA as usual. We are not doing our NFL Draft Prospect Countdown today. Unfortunately, we'll resume that back tomorrow. But we got to kind of get a clear understanding with our NBA MVP kind of ladder situation, ranking that. And I also kind of want to get ahead on this NBA Sixth Man of the Year also. So we're going to kind of go a little bit heavy in the NBA awards a little bit today, because we started our NBA MVP discussion about a week, maybe a week and a half ago, and we haven't really been updating it. So we got to get back on track with that, and we are going to be updating that every day from right now until obviously the MVP is crowned. But yeah, so we got all that today on the show. Going to be a good one, like always. So here we go. Let's just jump right into it with our stories of the day. And man, oh man, I mean, this man's got so much pressure on him now. Bears coach Matt Nagy will call offensive plays in 2021. Like we said, this is the do or die season for Matt Nagy. Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, not working out. Now you're calling plays. You're the head coach. I mean, this Bears team, I don't think anybody would disagree with this, that they have underperformed every single season since Matt Nagy's got here. And, you know, everybody wants to place it on the offensive quarterbacks. That's fine. I've got no problem doing so, but you've still got to win games. I don't care what the players are out there are on the field. It is your job to make sure that they are ready to compete and be competitive in every single game and give us a nice chance of winning all those games. And he hasn't made the play, or no, they did make the playoffs. Mitch Trubisky got to a playoff game. Did not fare very well in that game, but still got to one. But I mean, they need something now, you know, with the new quarterback, that they believe Andy Dalton's the right guy. I mean, I don't think that's going to work out either. So, I mean, what we've been seeing under Matt Nagy has not really been great so far, and now he's going to be calling plays. So, like we've said, this is the do or die season for this man, and he's going all in for the do or die. He's taking full control. I don't know how much he wanted Andy Dalton or not, if that was just kind of what the general manager just decided, but he's taking it into his own hands by calling the plays, going to do what is going to work best, hopefully, for what Andy Dalton can do. Because are we a little bit too hard on Andy Dalton? I don't think so. They seem to be, this Bears organization seems like Andy Dalton's the guy for some reason. I'm not buying it. I mean, just last season he didn't step up, and that's just truly unfortunate. So this is what they're saying on Andy Dalton here. General manager Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, the head coach. So here's what they're saying on this man. So, because that's how we see Andy Dalton as a starting quarterback. Y'all see this man as a starting quarterback? Did you just see what he did last year for the Cowboys, who have a much better receiving core than y'all do, and he still floundered? Alrighty, so I guess the Bears organization did not watch any of the Cowboys games, and they're just kind of going on. Maybe Andy Dalton's second year with the Bengals, that was maybe a little decent. But to continue on here, quote, and we're excited to have him again. That went into the evaluation process. He's been a starter in this league for a long time and produced at a high level for a long time. Are we watching the same Andy Dalton? Because the Andy Dalton I know is like 8-8 in a first round exit in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, he's been let's get the quote again. Let me get the exact words again. Here we go. He's been a starter in this league for a long time. Yes, that is true. That part is true. He's been in the league since 2011, came in instant starter for the Bengals. Yes, that is all true and good right there. But then he keeps on going and says and produced at a high level for a long time. All right, let's see if this is high level performance out here for the Bengals. So 2011 got the start, went 9-7, 58% completion percentage, 20 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 3,300 yards. Not a bad overall, rookie season. The 9-7 record's not bad. The 58% completion percentage is absolutely atrocious right there. Like we said, we need 62 to 65%. That is good. That is solid quarterback play in today's NFL. Maybe a little bit higher now because, like we've been saying all kind of season, this 2020 NFL season has shown a little bit of inflated completion percentage numbers. So we'll see if that's the case going forward or if this is kind of an anomaly season, a one and done. But we have to kind of know what's going to happen in the future for us to kind of reassess that. But for right now, 62, or for when he played in 2011, basically up until 2017, it's 62 to 65% completion percentage, which is good. So year one, not terrible. Alrighty. Then second year, 2012, 10-6 record. Alrighty. 62% completion percentage, 3,600 yards to 27 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. That's not bad. I'll give him this season. Not terrible there. But let's see what it resulted in. What did they do? They lost in the wild card round 13-19. Unfortunate, not putting up a lot of points. Let's see how he played in this game. Let's get this tab up of playoff postseason games. Alrighty, so second year, 2017 right here, losing 13-19. What did he do? 46% completion percentage, 127 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. So, all right, yeah, decent in the regular season, but absolutely garbage performance there in the first round of the playoffs. So now I would not say that's a high level. If we're talking about regular season's a huge benchmark, and that's like the highest you can go is what you're doing in the regular season, then yeah, he's pretty decent out there. But if we're talking about, getting rings and being competitive in the playoffs, this is not the man. In the Bears with Matt Nagy's situation, you need to at least make the playoffs, and you honestly need to kind of win the first playoff game that you're in for Matt Nagy to have to call it a successful year this year. Alrighty, let's keep going on with Andy Dalton, though. 2013, 11-5 record. All right, so improving a little bit in the record. One extra win from the previous season. 61% completion percentage, 61.9, basically 62. We'll give him the 62. 4,200 yards, which is absolutely fantastic. If you're getting 4,000 yards, that's what we're talking about. I love it. I want to see quarterbacks in 4,000 yards territory, however you want to phrase it. 33 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. We really wanted you to be 2-to-1 touchdown and interception ratio, and having 20 interceptions is just way too much. It's just way too much. I really don't even want to see double-digit interceptions. I would put the max of interceptions at 12. Of a good quarterback, regardless of how many touchdowns you're putting up, I really don't want to see more than 12, and this man's putting up 20. Not very good. Alrighty, once again, they got into the playoffs this season, so let's go to what he did here in 2013 in the playoffs. Alrighty, here we go. What did he do? A loss, 10-27. Once again, not putting up a lot of points there in the postseason. 13 points the last season, 10 points this season. 56% completion percentage, absolutely atrocious. 1 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, man, oh man, yeah, the regular season's great, but this man is floundering big time in the playoffs. I mean, you can't even beat a wild card team. Come on, this is a wild card round. But let's keep going on here. 2014, 10-5-1, so a little bit of a step back, tiny step back for him. 64% completion percentage, fantastic. That's what we're talking about. 3,300 yards, took a little bit of step back on the yards, and then look at this touchdown to interception ratio. 19 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Just not good at all. Come on, man. Barely 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Definitely declining. I mean, he was making progress from his first 3 seasons. 20 touchdowns, 27 touchdowns, 33, and then he took a big old step back with the only 19 touchdowns this season. And I believe they got to a playoff game here in 2014, so let's take a look at that. What did he do here? Once again, only 10 points. The man cannot score in the postseason. 51% completion percentage. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but no touchdowns, not putting up any type of points here. So this is the quarterback that Matt Nagy and the Bears are so high on, that they've been seeing performing at a high level for a long time. I would say maybe a high level in the regular season for a short amount of time. I'll give him maybe this 3-year stretch of 2012 to 2014 or not even that, 2012 to 2013, just 2 good seasons of performing at a decently high level. Decent for a young emerging quarterback in this league. It's decently at a high level, but then when it comes to the big game, he can never get it done. Alrighty, 2014, then 2015, 10-3 record, ended up getting injured, not able to play in the playoffs. They still lose the first playoff game, unfortunately. But he had a 66% completion percentage that year, 3,200 yards, 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, going into one of his probably best seasons he's ever had. I mean, we're talking about, what is this, 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, 3.5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. That's what we're talking about. Best completion percentage he's ever had. The yards was pretty good, with 3 games remaining. So he was having a good success in 2015, but he got injured, couldn't finish the entire season. Unfortunate, truly unfortunate. And then he was just never right since then. Ever since that injury, 6-9-1 record, 7-9 record, 5-6 record, 2-11 record, 2-11 record, folks. And I know the 2019 Bagels was absolutely trash. I mean, I get it, not a lot of weapons. AJ Green was kind of injured in the back half of the career with Andy Dalton. So 2-11 in 2019, 59% completion percentage, 3,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. So he was still throwing high amounts of interceptions here. And then that brings us to this season. How is this man looking? A new team, a new start, backup quarterback. Not a lot of pressure on you. I mean, coming in for an injured Dak Prescott. I mean, nobody's really expecting you to do too much. Honestly, I wasn't expecting Andy Dalton to do too much. We just needed to see something for this man. There was honestly not that much pressure. Mike McCarthy was a new coach, so more pressure on Mike McCarthy, more pressure on Zeke Elliott to step up. Really, I would say there was basically, I don't want to say basically none, but I would say there was kind of lackluster pressure, not a lot of pressure on Andy Dalton this season, and he still didn't do that great. 4-5 record this season, 64.9% completion percentage. Like we said, all these completion percentage were inflated this season, and Andy Dalton didn't even go big or go home. He didn't have Josh Allen 69 or 70% completion percentage. He settles in around 64% here. 2,100 yards, 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So once again, not even 1-to-1 or not even 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. So once again, just nothing really great here. I'm not understanding what they're seeing here, but let's keep up with these quotes, and then we're going to look at the film because we do have a little bit of a highlight package of what he did this season. Maybe the stats aren't good, but maybe he's looking good and just kind of, on the film. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and kind of look at him there. But let's finish some of these quotes here. Anything else that is just preposterous to say about this man? He's been a starter in the league for a long time and produced at a high level for a long time. No. Again, that's all of us collectively in the building, coaches, scouts, coming to that conclusion. Everybody in the Bears organization is excited about this man. What? I know this is what you have to say. I know they have to say this. You can't just get a quarterback and be like, yeah, this man's trash. Nobody's excited. I understand it, but it's just the doubling down process. I mean, just say, yeah, he's good and we're excited about him. Just leave it at that. Don't be like, oh my God, we're in love with this man. He's produced at a high level for a long time. I mean, the scouts, the janitor, everybody in the building is excited about. Nobody's excited about having Andy Dalton on this team. Come on, they're going way too big with this lie right here. Again, that's all of us collectively in the building, coaches and scouts, coming to that conclusion as we went through the free agency process. Yeah, he's our starting quarterback as we head into the season. Yikes. They better hope that he's our starting quarterback right now until we get to the draft. You know what I mean? Because we're going to take a quarterback there, and he's probably going to win out in the quarterback camp. So, yeah, right now, Andy Dalton's the guy, but we still got a long time before the first game is played where we have to kind of make our starter truly announced. Alrighty, let's see what else they say. They got anything else on this man? The fair question to ask Pace is quite simple. Isn't replacing Mitchell Trubisky with Dalton more of a lateral move than anything? Yeah, I would say absolutely. I mean, Mitch Trubisky wasn't that great, but he was serviceable, and I think he won more games than Andy Dalton did, and he was still able to put up a little bit of more points than what Andy Dalton was doing kind of on the regular. So not quite, Pace said. You don't think the move is lateral? Okay. Not quite, Pace said Friday, because Dalton has accomplished more and in his significantly longer career, and that's worth something in today's game? What? He's accomplished more. What has he accomplished? Getting to a wild card game? Is that an accomplishment in today's NFL? Is that looking back on the season be like, you know what? This was a successful. We made it to the game. We made it to the postseason. We weren't competitive in that game, and we couldn't score more than 10 points, and we only made the playoffs like 3 times out of an 8-year stretch. But yeah, that's a success there. What? Now, I know they've got to be lying to themselves here. There's no way anybody can truly believe this, man. And like I said, I know you have to say this. You're the general manager. You made the move. You have to kind of stand behind your decisions, and I get all that. But they're going a little bit overboard here on how much they're praising this man. Another quote here, the things we like as you look at it, obviously his experience, he's a 9-year starter. Yes, okay, yes, that is undeniably true. He did play for 9 straight seasons as a starter. He's been to 3 Pro Bowls. Oh, okay, all right. You got to be one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the AFC to get to a Pro Bowl. All righty. Pace explained, decision-making, we like his decision-making. He's won a lot of games in this league and has been a durable player too. Durable? I think that's something to understand. Durable and winning a lot of games? I don't know. Yes, he had this nice 4-year stretch of winning 10 games, 11 games, 10 games, 10 games. That is all good, but that is just half of his career. The other half, he's going 9-7, 10-3. That was a good season, but that was one of the 4 that we just counted. So 9-7, 6-9-1, 7-9, 5-6, and 2-11. I mean, winning, half of your season. In the first half, in this back half of the season, he's been in the back half of his career, he's been floundering big time. Man, and then just this season with a new team that was kind of loaded offensively, with a coach that brought Aaron Rodgers to the Super Bowl. And we don't like Mike McCarthy, but he still won a ring, so I guess I can't knock it. But I do like to knock the man a little bit. But I mean, you even have that better coach, that Super Bowl winning coach who knows what it takes. The running back that got paid, 2 good wide receivers, Amari Cooper. I mean, come on, a good offensive line. And he still couldn't make it work, so I don't know what the Bears are expecting here, but maybe we're going a little bit too hard on him. Let's quickly just watch some highlights of this man. I don't think we're going to watch this entire video, but let's just see what this man is looking like this season. Alrighty, here we go. First play up, tie game against the Giants here. Can he do anything in the clutch here? 36 seconds left, sliding out of the pocket, rolling right, a nice comeback route right on the sideline. Alrighty, that's a good play right there. Clutch, can he clutch it up again? Let's see what he's doing here. Next play, 30 seconds left, going deep. Oh my God. Great catch right on the boundary. I'll give him, that's a fantastic pass, placement and everything. Long down the field, trusting his wide receivers. Right, oh my, yes, right on the line of if he threw that ball a little bit, like an inch more to the right, there's no way he's coming down in bounds with that. So I'll give him that one. A nice clutch drive there, once again against the Giants. Not very great defensively, but we'll give him that one. That's a nice drive there. Nice couple of plays in the clutch by Andy Dalton. We'll take that one. But now down 21-0 here against the Cardinals. A wide open pass here. I mean, this is wide open. That's wide open. This is a highlight. This is all. This is the tape. Just this one play was a tape that the Bears general manager and coach were looking at, where they're like, "Yeah, we're excited about Andy Dalton." The wide open pass. Another wide open pass here. This is all the wide receiver doing everything. All right, let's keep going here. Once again, down 28-3. They've only put up 3 points through 3 quarters, and he's dinking and dunking, and they're putting this in a highlight package for this man. Come on, folks. Come on. Let's keep it going here. Against the Cardinals again, down 31-3. Once again, so all these plays, all these good plays that are, highlight worthy, according to whoever made this highlight package, whatever, it's not even resulting into any points because they're still at 3 now with 5 minutes left. So he's not getting it done. This is a good pass right here, decently covered. I'll give him this one. Decent. It's a decent throw. 15, 20 yards. Comes with the flag. But still, it's not resulting in any points. All right, here we go. On the goal line. Let's get it done, Andy Dalton. Here we go. Garbage time minutes. This means nothing. There we go. Finally. It took you the entire game to get your first touchdown on the goal line on 3rd and goal, so you've had multiple cracks at this one as well. But finally, here we go. Nice little zig route. Starting inside, going outside. Very well done. Once again, these receivers helping him out more than he's actually good at. All right, what else do we get here? I'm about to turn this off. If this next game is still a blowout and they're showing great plays by this man. Here we go, a wide receiver screen on the goal line, basically. This is a top play. This is all receiver and blocking right here. Come on. Ezekiel Elliott finally doing something with that big payday that he got, finally showing out a little bit. All righty, we'll give him this one, but look at this one. On this drive, Andy Dalton, 1 of 2 for 21 yards, so this man barely did anything on this entire touchdown drive. It was all the running game or, maybe the return game, however it shaked out. But Andy Dalton, 1 of 2 for 21 yards on this drive. Come on. What are we talking about here, man? What are we talking about? I cannot believe how big lying they were. The Bears organization was in that interview. I cannot believe some of these quotes that we got. Well, let's keep it up here. All right. Still a kind of a close game. Here we go. This is what we're talking about right here. And once again, so a highlight, this is what Andy Dalton's done in the game so far. 5 of 9 for 64 yards, a touchdown and an interception, and that touchdown was a wide receiver screen. Come on. Or a running back screen at the wide receiver position, however you want to categorize it. But I'll give him this one. A nice 50-50 bubble. But once again, this one's a little kind of a crazy placement, and we got to give it up for the receiver. I think that's Amari Cooper over there making this is CeeDee Lamb. Who am I disrespecting? Making that huge adjustment. Look at how this man adjusts to the ball right here. See, he's like, oh my God, this is way ahead of me. I didn't think it was going to be that deep back in the end zone, but he's able to make that great adjustment, the wide receiver, and the Bears don't have any great wide receivers like CeeDee Lamb. Come on. Oh man. Alrighty, what else do we get here? Alrighty, here we go. 13 seconds left, kind of a wide open pass, puts it right on them. That's just poor defense by the Vikings, and we heard Mike Zimmer at the end of the season say that this was the worst defense he's ever had. So yes, Andy Dalton is having decent success here against a very, very bad defense, but here we go. Let's see if he can do anything in the clutch. Is this going to be the second time he did something in the clutch here? Nice job. Just sits down right there. A decently open wide receiver on 4th and 6. It's a good pass. I'll give it to him right there. Let's see if he can capitalize here. Let's see if he can cap off this win. On the goal line. All right, here we go. 3rd and goal. Andy Dalton. Wide open. Delivers a wide open ball. All right. Every pass here that is just all wide open, folks. And I don't want to knock you for delivering wide open balls, but I've got to on some of these. These are just wild. All right, taking off. All right, the wheels, the speed, diving forward on 3rd and 12. Are they going to give it to him? Very well done. All right, I think he got it there. Nice pickup with the wheels. All right. See if we get anything else here. Andy Dalton slinging it. A little bit wide open once again. Wide open. These receivers doing good. All right, and once again, just results in a field goal. Not capitalizing on touchdowns. Classic. All right, here we go. What do we get? Andy Dalton going deep. There we go. That's what we're talking about. Here we go. Now we're starting to talk. This is a great ball right here by this man. Let's count the yards. Throwing it from the 40, high and away from the defender at the 20. That's 40 yards solid right there. Let's get it. Perfect. All right. Now we're back to, this is what we're talking about. This is what we want to see. Alrighty, in the red zone against this Ravens defense. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Do you see this, folks? Do you see? Look at this. Look at the yards and the stats for this man through the first quarter, basically, because we're getting the start of the second quarter here. And so far, Andy Dalton went 6 of 7 for 25 yards. Dinking dunker out here. He's dinking and dunking. It's not impressive, but this one's decent, I would guess. Who is that? Once again, Gallup. These receivers doing very well right here. That's a decently thrown ball. I'll give him to this one as well. Good throw, good catch. Unfortunately, defender was a tad off on this one. But I'll give him this one. All right, but once again, just doing nothing else. Just literally doing nothing else for the entire game. That's the only thing he did all game, because now the next highlight we get of Andy Dalton still in the Ravens game, still with those 10 points, and we're at the end of the fourth quarter, and they're down 17 points. This is game over. But let's see what Andy Dalton can do in garbage time on 4th and goal here. Wide open, back of the end zone. Wide receiver goes up and gets this highly thrown ball over the middle. I mean, I think we've seen enough here, folks. We don't need to waste all day here. Against his former team, what did he got? Anything good? Andy Dalton against his former team, 14 of 20 for 146 yards. 1 touchdown, no picks. Is that good? Is that a quarterback you want on your team? 146 yards on dinking and dunking? I'm just not seeing what the general managers were saying, man. I'm not seeing it. It's all wide receiver that's helping this man out. I don't think Andy Dalton's going to pan out with the Bears, folks. I do not see it. He's one of the most complete quarterbacks that we evaluated in free agency, and we're excited to have him. That's where we're going to leave this segment, folks, on that quote alone. He's one of the most complete quarterbacks that we evaluated in free agency, and we're excited to have him. We'll see how excited they are having him on the roster come the end of the 2021 season, because I don't think they're going to be all smiles at that. I think Matt Nagy's going to be frowning, getting fired from the Bears. Alrighty, let's move on. Ooh, he spent a lot of time on this segment, gosh darn. But let's kind of quickly finish off these stories here. Here we go. Texans could pursue quarterback Alex Smith if Deshaun Watson isn't on their team this fall. Man, oh man, going from a great talent of Deshaun Watson all the way down to Alex Smith. I mean, folks, he's done. He's done. Let's give somebody else a chance. Let's get Can we get Marcus Mariota a second starting chance here? Can somebody go and get this man instead of, believing in Andy Dalton for 20 seasons and still believing in Alex Smith after, leg reconstruction surgery? I mean, the man just threw 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions last season, folks. Come on, what are we talking about here? I understand the Washington football team's wide receivers are very lackluster, but I mean, they were still winning games decently and being competitive in all those games because Ron Rivera, these weapons weren't great A1 tier 1 or even kind of A2 tier 2, honestly. But still, you have to make it work. You have to make it work what you're given. And Alex Smith, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's not good, folks. It's truly not that great. So, Texans, you better be crossing your fingers that Deshaun Watson does not go anywhere. And that just leads us into this. The Houston Police Department has launched an investigation concerning Deshaun Watson after a complaint filed a report against the Texans quarterback on Friday. So I think this is the first criminal one. Now the police is getting involved. The other ones were just civil matters. But let's read some of this and see what we get here. Alrighty, so here we go. The Houston Police Department has launched an investigation concerning Deshaun Watson after a complainant filed a report against the Houston Texans quarterback on Friday. Quote, "As with any allegation, the Houston Police Department is now conducting an investigation and will not comment further during the investigative process," the department said. All right. Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, said in a statement later Friday that he and Watson will, quote, "fully cooperate with the Houston Police Department." I mean, okay, yeah, do that, please. "We welcome this long overdue development," Hartman said. "Now we will learn the identity of at least one of the accusers, at least one of the 21 other civil lawsuits that they have pending. We will fully cooperate with the Houston Police Department." I love it. I mean, this lawyer, we've been kind of tracking the story since it began. I mean, Deshaun Watson's lawyer has been adamant and like, can we just know the name of these people? We don't even know the names of these kind of accusations coming forward. So they're definitely going to be looking at this identity of the person. Is this going to jog Deshaun Watson's memory? Oh yeah, Christina B. Oh shit, it's Christina. Oh fuck, Christina B. That was the worst one I've ever had. Damn it. So hopefully Deshaun Watson's not stressing now knowing one of the identities of his accusers. Watson is currently facing 21 civil lawsuits, man. Not good, not good. They all are civil, but now we do have the official investigation here. Busby, in a statement Friday, this is the one that's kind of representing all these civil lawsuits, the lawyer. Busby, in a statement Friday, said he wasn't personally involved in filing the report with the police. He wrote on Instagram earlier this week that he didn't feel comfortable going to the Houston Police Department with any information, and that he and his clients, quote, will go elsewhere to provide our evidence to investigative authorities. Now, that's a big red flag right there. You're not trusting the police department? Now, is that because of corruption in the police department, or is that because, you know, your case has no water and you don't want the police getting involved? So the big red flag right here. We're not really sure which one it is. Truly unfortunate. But let's keep going. Watson has publicly denied any wrongdoing, and Harden said last week that he believes, quote, any allegation that Deshaun forced a woman to commit a sexual act is completely false. Harden, the Deshaun Watson's lawyer, on Wednesday released statements from 18 women who say they have worked with the Texans quarterback and that he, quote, had never made them feel uncomfortable or demanded anything outside the scope of a professional massage. Watson's attorney said in the statements were voluntary and from women who collectively, quote, worked with Deshaun Watson for more than 130 times over the past 5 years. So once again, another kind of green flag for Deshaun Watson. Hey, I got 18 other women that are like, nah, it was good. I wasn't sexually assaulted. He never came. He never came on me during my massages. Yeah, I mean, 130 times over 5 years, we've never had an incident. So it's real wonky, man. We've got civil lawsuits. Now we finally get an investigation by the police department. But Harden is not willing to kind of cooperate with the police, that he's not comfortable going to the police and is going to go with other investigative authorities. So real wonky right here. Really cannot get a firm kind of understanding on the stories. Too many question marks and a lot of kind of gray area, and I'm sure there's a lot of information that we haven't even heard yet. So we'll keep an eye on it, but I think this is kind of helping Deshaun Watson out a little bit. I think of reading all these stories, I think we're going to give 55% of Deshaun Watson kind of in the clear, in the right. We just read this quote. This was in the article, but we'll say it one more time. Statement from Deshaun Watson's attorney, Rusty Harden here. We welcome this long overdue development. Now we will learn the identity of at least one accuser. So we'll start to see what's going to happen, but a lot of question marks everywhere still, folks. Not great. Alrighty, let's kind of run through these basketball stories pretty quickly here. Here we go. Gary Trent Jr. had the highest plus-minus, a plus 54 in the Raptors franchise history. Wild. Just got here and already setting records for a new organization. Congrats to Gary Trent Jr. I definitely hope he has success. I mean, I liked him on the Blazers. Unfortunately, they got rid of him, and I think the Blazers have I know the Blazers have a better chance at winning a title right now than the Raptors do. So truly unfortunate by Gary Trent Jr. going to a winning team to a losing team. Not the best, but I mean, they just blew out the Warriors last night. He was a plus 54 on the floor, so congratulations on getting into the record books, my man. Alrighty, yes sir, my man was making mainstream news yesterday. Jackson Hayes, absolutely fantastic. He had a wild dunk here. Look at him reach all the way back. Yes sir, I reached back like 1-3. No, I reached back like, what's his number right here? What's his number? Darn, I can't get a number. 1-0. I reach back like 1-0. Yes, sir. Look at this man go and get up on this pass right here, this lob, and go down with the thunderous dunk right here. I'm telling y'all, this is one of the most athletic players currently in the league. I would probably say the most athletic. I love seeing this man play all the time. I wish he would get more minutes right here. But here we go. Another one, a big old dunk. Folks, he's long. He's lanky. He's athletic. Do not underestimate what this man can do. The reason why he's just not getting a lot of play time, I think, just because he's a young guy in this league. But he definitely proves himself every time he steps out on the floor. Like I said, I wish he would get so many more minutes. Look at this man. Takes all that contact and still is able to get the dunk down. And oh my gosh, look at this one. Woof, driving against the Nuggets, and man, oh man, he's got the that's the Clippers, and he had the hammer waiting for them. Holy moly, that's a poster. Go up and get it. Go up and get the ball, young fella. This man is absolutely magnificent. Here we go. Pick, roll, catch, dunk, easy money there. Don't disrespect Jackson Hayes, folks. Man, oh man. Once he becomes mainstream, folks, it's going to be over for the league. It's truly going to be over. This man can play. This man can hoop. He's athletic. He can dunk. He can block. He can defend. He can go. Look at that! Authority! Thunderous dunk! Love everything about this man, truly. Let's finish it off here. Last highlight here. Lob up, go get it once again. If you just throw it in the vicinity, I mean, some of these passes here look like they're coming from Mitch Trubisky of how inaccurate these lobs are. But it doesn't matter because the man always goes up and gets it. Doesn't matter how inaccurate. Doesn't matter how high, how behind. He's got the wingspan to go out. He's got the stretching capabilities to go out and get the ball. Off a putback, once again, come on. How can you not love what this man can do? So just got nice little clout yesterday from that big old dunk. Everybody was tweeting about him, including us over here at Takes by Fans, our official Twitter account. Follow us at Takes by Fans. But yeah, absolutely magnificent. Love it. Action Jackson Hayes, folks. Alrighty, sad quote here by Marcus All, truly unfortunate. Quote, it's a hard pill to swallow because I know I'm going to be out of the lineup at some point. And yeah, they just brought Andre Drummond. Montrezl Harrell is leaps and bounds better than Marcus All just because he's younger. I mean, Marcus All is definitely aging out of this league. He's had a great run in this league. Unfortunately, that it is coming to an end here. He's probably not going to see that many minutes. I mean, you know, Anthony Davis is coming back. LeBron James is coming back. They just got Andre Drummond. Montrezl Harrell is the sixth man of the year candidate. So, you know, they've got bigs, they've got beef. They're not really going to need this man too much. Now, he is going to have to kind of, you know, step it up in the playoffs when, you know, they call his number, when he rested the entire first round, and now it's the second round, you know, game 5 where they can close out, or game 6 where they need the win, and they have to kind of go to some fresh bigs out there. That's where Marcus All is going to come in. So he still has some contribution that is going to be needed if this Lakers team wants to go out and win the ring, but he just has to wait for his moment. Hopefully he doesn't get too down on himself here, because this quote is truly sad to hear. But they are going to be calling his number, I'm assuming, late in the playoffs, in a deep playoff run. So hopefully the man is ready. Just kind of like how the Lakers relied on JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard periodically throughout the postseason last year. And they ended up getting the job done because of that. So, Marcus All, hold your head up a little bit. You're still going to be seeing some action there. Wait till the playoffs, my man. All right, and then Kyle Kuzma just had a very good game, and they ended up winning, but once again, it was against the Kings. All righty. Finally, he steps up a little bit, but I mean, first game he steps up with no LeBron and no Anthony Davis, and it's still against a not great team, and now this man's talking. Quote, I put a lot of work in this game. I love this game. I'm always in the gym. I just had to get the mechanics right and keep letting it fly. Alrighty, I would like to see you be a little bit more consistent here. I mean, you're basically the 5th option on this team, honestly. You don't even start when LeBron James and Anthony Davis are there. You're coming off the bench, and, you know, when those two are out, you really don't step it up when you're in the starting lineup. But, you know, he finally has a good game against the Kings. Okay. And now he wants to talk. Alrighty, I'll let you do you. Go and celebrate the win, I guess. Alrighty, Blazers are planning on signing Rondae Hollis Jefferson. Alright, I think this is a pretty good pickup here. Let's get his stats here. The Blazers are deep enough. I mean, this would just definitely put them over the top. They're kind of going what the Nets are doing, just kind of going deeper and deeper. Alrighty, let's see what this man is doing here so far. Alrighty, played 59 games in 2018 and put up 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal a game. That's what we're talking about. So a nice bench piece here just to make the Blazers a little bit deeper. Get this man right for a nice long playoff run here just this season with the Raptors. Barely started, barely played, and he averaged 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.8 assists. So really the rebounds and the assists are always still there, hovering around, 5 to 6 rebounds, 1 to 2 assists. The points there maxed out at 13, but he's hovering around 8. So this is exactly exactly what the Blazers need, just more depth a little bit more, and they're going to be fine. So great pickup here. Watch out for the Blazers, man. If they can get right, just truly unfortunate. They're in the West. If they were in the East, I mean, man, oh man, they'd be the second best team. The Nets obviously number one, but the Blazers would be number two. Unfortunately, we know how tight this Western Conference is in the NBA. Alrighty, not great news for the Pelicans right here. Josh Hart to miss, quote, significant time with a torn UCL in his right thumb. So this is we just saw the Blazers get deeper off the bench, and now the Pelicans get less depth off the bench here with this Josh Hart injury. Probably the second, probably the best player coming off the bench here. So starters are all going to have to get it done, and that's something that we haven't really seen too much. So hopefully Jackson Hayes gets more times here for the Pelicans. Hopefully Nickeil Alexander-Walker gets a little bit more time. We're still not unsure of what's going to happen with Lonzo because we've seen Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the starting lineup. And let's get to this one before we get to the other one. But Isaiah Thomas is expected to sign a 10-day contract with the Pelicans. So we just heard the story about Lonzo Ball not wanting to be in New Orleans next season, and he's been out for these last couple of games here with an injury. So I really think they're starting their exit strategy on Lonzo Ball, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They're starting to get him acclimated into the starting lineup and is doing pretty good out there. And now they're bringing in Isaiah Thomas, who hasn't played in a while. So, I mean, this man has got great production. He can definitely be a good starting point guard in this league, or definitely, be maybe even better coming off the bench. But let's get the right Isaiah Thomas right here, not the GOAT Isaiah Thomas. So here we go. All right. Hasn't played. When was the last time this man even played? 2020, and why he played this year, or no, last season with the Wizards. Yeah, I was going to say he didn't play this season. But last season with the Wizards, 12 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound, and how many minutes? How many minutes was this man playing out here? They got that up here? About 23 minutes a game. So, still productive. That's all they need is just some sort of production here. So, hopefully, I'm definitely rooting for this man to get back to kind of what he could do. What's his peak right here? Maybe with the Lakers right here, 15 points, 5 assists. That was pretty good. Probably his peak. Oh, no, what's this one? Yeah, with the Celtics. Yeah, this was with the Celtics. Played all 82 games as well. 22 points, 6 assists, 28 points. And 6 assists, the year after. So this man could definitely be a huge, useful weapon here, especially for this Pelicans team who may be up in the air with Lonzo Ball a little bit. So hopefully he can get right and be instant production here for this team, because I do want to see this Pelicans team flourish a little bit. And then a little bit of a bad story here to end it. Malik Monk for the Hornets going to be missing at least 2 weeks here. Now, the Hornets just won last night, so hopefully, they're losing a lot of pieces here. They're getting less and less deep, but they're still winning games, so hopefully they can continue that. It's definitely, they definitely got a hard uphill battle to climb if they want to stay at this 4th seed in the East. Truly unfortunate. Everything is not going their way. Luckily for them, they got a nice kind of like 6 win cushion between the 4th and the 10th seed, so hopefully they can still make that playing tournament. Hopefully LaMelo Ball can come back right before the end of the season and kind of, maybe elevate them a little bit more if they're not in that playing tournament, or just kind of improve their positioning in the playoffs a little bit. But man, oh man, the Hornets, man, they're all playing so well. They're all buying in. The next man up mentality is flowing through this team. Just another roadblock, another hurdle, another obstacle this team has to overcome. So hopefully they can keep overcoming all these injuries. Alrighty, those are all the stories we needed to break down today, so let's head over to the NBA. We'll break down what happened yesterday. We'll do our moneymaker for today's NBA action. Oh, no, well, actually, first, let's head over to March Madness first. Let's do this, because we do have March Madness games on tonight. 2 games. The Final Four is being played today, starting at 5:14. Baylor versus Houston. So let's talk through these and see if we get any great value here. So the first game up, Houston and Baylor. Houston +5, Baylor -5. Alrighty, what do we like about Houston? They've got some nice defense here. Held the first opponent to 56 points, held their next opponent to 60, held the third opponent to 46, and just held the Elite 8 opponent to 61 points. So they get it done on the defensive end. Now, how's their offensive looking? a little lackluster. They put up 87 points in their first meeting against number 15 Clemson State. Alrighty, nothing really great there. But then their second meeting against Rutgers just squeaked out a win, only putting up 63 points. Against Syracuse, they put up 62 points, and against Oregon State, they put up 67. So they haven't really had these wow performances, these consistent 80 to 75 plus performances here. So that's a little bit of a knock on them, but their defense is truly great here. Now let's talk about Baylor. What have they been doing? Their scoring output has been decently consistent. 79 points in their first game, 76 in their second, 62 in their third, and then back up to 81 here, the most they scored in the Elite Eight game against Arkansas. So their offense, nothing, great. I don't think they've got that great scoring that Gonzaga has as, another number one just to kind of compare. But, a nice 75 to 80 points, that's what Baylor can put up. Now, how is Baylor's defense looking? They held Hartford to only 55 points, Wisconsin to 63, Nova to 51, but then just Arkansas to 72 against kind of a top three team here. Nova top 5, held them to 51, Wisconsin's number 9 at 63. But now you face, your best, the hardest opponent that you face so far, a 3 seed, and you give up 72 points. So maybe they were kind of, banking on the lackluster offensive performance of these other teams here. So we get Baylor versus Houston here. Baylor, who's not really shown great offense or great defense throughout this tournament, and then Houston that's got great defense and a little bit of lackluster offense. So that's kind of what we're looking at the number 1-2 matchup here. So I think we got to go with the points here. I'm going to take the 5 points here for Houston. I think their defense kind of surprises Baylor a little bit, gets them off the mark, and then Houston just keeps this game competitive. They may not win, but we do get 5 points here, and I think that's enough for us to take it here. So Houston's defense, I think, gets it done, and their offense is still, decently on par and keeps them in it. So we'll take Houston plus 5. And then we get UCLA versus Gonzaga, and man, this Gonzaga team is just looking absolutely dominant. Offensively, defensively, putting it together, scoring 98 points their first meeting, holding the other team to 55 points. That was the best performance in the entire tournament in any round there was. Second game, Gonzaga scoring is still up there, 87 points, holding Oklahoma to 71. Then their third game, putting up 83 points, holding the other team to 65. And then just in the Elite Eight, winning 85 to 66, basically a 20-point win. Their offense, defense gets it done. Now what has UCLA been doing? Alrighty, first game winning 73 to 62. Then in the second game, they held ACU to 47 points. That's really not a huge accomplishment there. And UCLA only put up 67 points. Then the scoring came back out for UCLA in the Sweet 16 against Bama, putting up 88 points, holding Bama to 78 points for a 10-point win there. And then in the Elite Eight, upsetting number 1 Michigan, a huge, great game here. Held Michigan to 49 points. They scored 51 in a close win there, but the offense really struggled throughout the entire game. Both defenses were doing pretty decent, but that lack of scoring production from UCLA, I think, is definitely going to hurt them, especially with the great offense and defensive output by Gonzaga. Gonzaga's always had great offense and great defensive games together, where UCLA, we're having great offensive game, we're putting up 80 points, but we're giving up 78 points, and then when our defense holds, our scoring output isn't really anything that great with only 51 points. I think that's the lowest win throughout the entire tournament. Nobody else has won just by scoring 58 points, folks. That's a little concerning. It's a little concerning. If it didn't come in the Elite Eight, that would be even more concerning. So I get it, an 11 seed facing a number 1 seed, so it's good for them. But overall, now you're facing one of the best teams in the entire tournament, not just in the East region. So it's a lot of points to swallow here, minus 14.5 points, but I think we're going to swallow it here. I really just see Gonzaga steamrolling everybody, and UCLA doesn't really have the size below to kind of keep up with just everybody on Gonzaga. Is just beef on beef on beef. So we'll swallow the 14.5 here for Gonzaga. I think they steamroll. So Houston plus 5, Gonzaga minus 14.5 for today's NCAA March Madness Final Four, leading up until Monday, where I believe the winners will play. Here it is. I mean, yeah, look at what they've got here. They've got all the spreads here for all the potential. Baylor Gonzaga, Houston Gonzaga, Houston UCLA, Baylor UCLA. Alrighty, so interesting here. But, yeah, Monday at 9 o'clock will be the final round. But until then, we got to bank on Houston +5 and Gonzaga -14.5. Alrighty, now let's head over to the NBA. Like we said, we'll quickly break down what happened yesterday, do our moneymaker for today's action, and then go over into our MVP and Sixth Man of the Year discussion for this season in the NBA. So let's get it started here with the clearest blowout we have ever seen in an NBA game. Warriors-Raptors, no Steph Curry, and a big old problem ensues, and the Raptors getting back on track here. So Raptors win 130-77. Yikes. 61-point win for the Raptors. That's why Trent Jr. has a +54. I mean, Pascal Siakam had a +49. OG Anunoby had a +43. I mean, it's just wild out here. So we can go through this one very quickly. Obviously, nothing matters in this game because it was just an absolute blowout. Fred VanVleet also only played 18 minutes, 7 points, 3 assists for him. Trent Jr., 24 points, 5 rebounds. Chris Boucher, 10 points, 6 rebounds. Pascal Siakam, 36 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. And OG Anunoby, 21 points. And then off the bench, Malachi Flynn with 16 points. So Raptors as a team, collective, get it done. Now for the Warriors, who did not step up here besides everybody. So Kelly Oubre Jr. once again floundering without Steph Curry, 9 points on 27% shooting. James Wiseman still floundering out here, 9 points, 5 rebounds. Juan Toscano Anderson, 0 points in only 11 minutes on 0% shooting. Didn't even shoot any. And then Jordan Poole in place of Steph Curry, not doing anything close to what Steph Curry does. 10 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds on 20% shooting. That just leads us Andrew Wiggins. Is still doing decent out here. 15 points, led the team in scoring. 2 assists, 4 rebounds on 55% shooting. So, Andrew Wiggins trying his best out here. Unfortunately, he doesn't step up. He doesn't go for 30, but nobody else does. So, truly a bad game here for this Warriors team that had no Steph Curry or Draymond Green. So, expected loss there, but not that bad. Jesus. Have some respect for yourselves out there at the Warriors. Gosh darn. Alrighty, let's go to a decently competitive game here to the Rockets and the Celtics. This was one of our moneymaker picks from last night. Unfortunately, we believed a little bit too heavy in the Rockets. We thought John Wall was the game time decision. Unfortunately, he doesn't play, but we had the Rockets +12. They lose by 16. So a little unfortunate here. But Evan Fournier kind of came alive late in the third quarter and really kind of helped them out and kind of propelled them to a nice win there. So let's start here with the Celtics. Evan Fournier coming off the bench, 23 points on 61% shooting and 7-11 from 3. So yes, sir, that's what we're talking about. Great night by Evan Fournier. Now we're starting to see him get kind of into the rotation here, kind of floundered in his first game there. I believe this is only his second game here playing. So it's back on track, and now we can kind of take the Celtics team as legit contenders, because not only did Evan Fournier have a great game, Robert Williams had his best game of the entire season here. 20 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds on 100% shooting, 9 of 9 from the field. Very well done. Great defense as well, +22 and a nice kind of 16-point win. So Robert Williams, I mean, this is what we're talking about. Robert Williams is kind of, the best center that the Celtics have. That's why they got rid of Daniel Tice. But Robert Williams is really coming into his own now, being the true sole starting center here at the 5 position here for the Celtics. So great night by Robert Williams. Kemba Walker, 11 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, only taking 6 threes. That's what we're talking about, Kemba. Defer the ball to everybody else. You don't need to be the main scorer here. You're kind of the worst scorer on this team, honestly. So just be the facilitator, be the point guard. Come on. So great night by him here. Robert Williams with the 20 points. Jason Tatum with 26 points, 9 rebounds on 52% shooting, 5 of 11 from 3. And then Jaylen Brown, who left the game kind of late third quarter, early fourth quarter, or maybe even mid fourth quarter, but still got great production here from him. 22 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 11 rebounds on 45% shooting on 20 shots. Not terrible overall. And then Marcus Smart to round out the starters, 6 points, 3 steals, 10 assists, 4 rebounds. So the guards getting it done. Everybody got it done this game. This is a perfect game by the Celtics. This is what they need to be if they want to have a chance at kind of competing in that Eastern Conference and kind of representing the East in the finals. So very, very well done. And then we got Anybody else we got to shut out? No. I mean, they're really not deep. I mean, they're only 6 people deep, honestly. So very well done. Everybody getting it done here for the Celtics. A great team win for them. Now we can start buying the Celtics a little bit more now. And then let's go to the Rockets. No John Wall, unfortunately, but Christian Wood is still out there. Kelly Olynyk is still out there. So let's see what's going on here. Kevin Porter Jr. in the starting lineup, 12 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds on 36% shooting, 0-5 from 3. Not great, but everything else pretty decent. Sterling Brown, 8 points, 4 rebounds. He shot 2 of 3 from 3, 42% overall. Christian Wood, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Yes, sir. Jashawn Tate, 9 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. And Daniel House Jr., 5 points, 2 rebounds. So they just lacked scoring. Nobody was putting up a lot of shots. Nobody was scoring the ball a lot. And that's without John Wall, that's kind of, what they have. So I would have liked to see Sterling Brown. We've seen him be able to kind of go and get that 25 points plus when they need it. So would have liked to see Kevin Porter Jr., Sterling Brown kind of, put the team on their back scoring wise. Unfortunately, nobody really did that. But Avery Bradley off the bench, 15 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, and Kelly Olynyk, great night by him, 10 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds off the bench, and a +1 on the floor in a loss. So I'll take that, man. So decent overall team here by the Rockets. Once John Wall starts to play a little bit more consistently, we'll have no problem kind of buying this Rockets team on a nightly basis, depending on who they're up against. But this is a decent squad here. It's a decent squad out here with the Rockets. It's a winnable squad out here. It's a potentially. Maybe not because they're in the West, but 10 games out from that 10 seed. They won't be able to get into the playoff games, but it's decent. It's decent. We'll just leave it at that. It's a decent lineup if John Wall is playing. Alrighty, so the Celtics win 118-102. Now let's go to the Knicks and the Mavericks now. Alrighty, Mavericks beating the Knicks, and I mean, man, oh man, this Knicks team, we sold them at the right time. We really haven't been buying into them since that kind of streak where everybody was talking about them, I think right before the trade deadline. But after that, I mean, it's just nothing great. Nobody's stepping up consistently, and that Knicks team, they need the starters and bench to all play great on a nightly basis, and we really do not get that. So let's start here with the Mavericks. Luka Doncic still in the games here. 26 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. Great night by him. Josh Richardson, 11 points, 4 rebounds. Kristaps Porzingis, 15 points, 8 rebounds. Great defensive night by him as well at +16 on the floor. Maxi Kleber, 7 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 7 rebounds on efficient shooting, 60%. And then Dorian Finney-Smith, 6 points, 9 rebounds on not efficient shooting, 25% from the field. But then their bench, Tim Hardaway Jr., 14 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. Great night by him. And then Jalen Brunson, 15 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. So the starters all kind of got it done. The stars got it done in nice double, 2 people off the bench in double-digit scoring. So decent game here by the Mavericks facing a very lackluster Knicks team. So let's see who did not step up here. Julius Randle, 14 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds. He shot poor as poor, folks. 25% on 20 shots, 1 of 7 from 3. So his stats are good, but that shooting production is absolutely atrocious. A huge reason why they lost this game. Reggie Bullock, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He was the 3rd leading scorer with 13 points. And then, folks, look at this rest of the starting lineup. Nerlens Noel, 4 points, 5 rebounds. RJ Barrett, 8 points, 6 rebounds. Alfred Payton. And also, R.J. Barrett shot 27% with those 8 points, so not great. And then Alfred Payton, 6 points, 4 rebounds on 50% shooting. And then their bench, we get Alec Burks, 20 points, 2 rebounds, but Taj Gibson, 4 points. Derrick Rose, 2 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. That's not bad, but he shot 10%, folks. Emmanuel Quickley, 6 points on 22% shooting. Then we get Obi Toppin, who had 9 points on 80% shooting, but we need, folks, it needs everybody on this Knicks team because really the only good starters are Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, and then the only good bench pieces are Emmanuel Quickley, Taj Gibson, Alec Burks, Obi Toppin, Derrick Rose. So we need great production from this bench because the starters are kind of lackluster in totality. So Knicks lose, classic Knicks, cannot buy the Knicks. I mean, honestly, folks, the Knicks are the 7th best team in the East. I mean, that's wild, folks. That just shows the disparity of talent in the East and the West, man. So East is easy, man, and it's just not a good conference overall, top down. Alrighty, let's keep going here. Hornets and the Pacers, and the Hornets get the win. Yes, sir. Love it. Love it. Hornets here win 114-97. I mean, folks, what are we talking? I haven't heard a peep of the Pacers in the national media, and that's a good thing because they are just nothing. They are nothing. If you took them out of the league, if they never played another game, nobody would know the difference, folks. So, Hornets beating the Pacers. Very well done to the Hornets. Devontae Graham, 12 points, 5 steals, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot poor, only 20% and 1 of 8 from 3, but everything else was pretty great. Terry Rozier, once again, the same thing. 15 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 6 rebounds on very, very poor shooting, 26% and 1 of 9 from 3, but everything else was very, very good for the team. And, hey, you got the win. So, inefficient shooting, and you still get the win. That's what we're talking about. Bismack Biyombo here, 6 points, 5 rebounds. PJ Washington, 13 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. I mean, great defense here by this Hornets team. And then Gordon Hayward to round out the starters, 13 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds on 50% shooting. So a very great job here by the starters, all getting it done in every facet of the game, offense and defense. And then their bench, yes, sir, Brad Wanamaker stepping up here, 13 points, 4 assists, 2 steals. Fantastic. Cody Zeller, 17 points, 4 rebounds. Miles Bridges, 23 points, 10 rebounds. And Malik Monk did not play this game. Is that correct? That is correct. So, I mean, very well done. I mean, they're not going to be missing. Well, they are going to be missing him, but, you know, he still didn't play yesterday. So, I mean, that's pretty good that they were still winning without him because we know that he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. So, man, oh, man, I got to give respect, a lot of respect to this Hornets team for winning again here. Fantastic work. Beating the Pacers. Let's see what went wrong with them. Here we go. Edmund Sumner, the starting point guard for them in the starting rotation. 10 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds on 50% shooting. Not bad. And then Karis LeVert, 16 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds on 38% shooting. Not the greatest, just kind of meh out there. Miles Turner, 7 points, 8 rebounds. I mean, we all hear about the defense of Miles Turner, but not defensive last night. And I mean, you're getting beat by Bismack Biyombo and Cody Zeller, Miles Turner? Come on, got to be better than that. Domantas Sabonis, 8 points, 4 assists, 10 rebounds. A little lackluster game by him. I mean, he shot decent, 57%, just didn't take a lot of shots, and he needed to because nobody was kind of scoring decently on this team. And then Justin Holiday, 9 points on 23% shooting, 6 rebounds to go along with that. But they did get some nice contributions here off their bench. TJ McConnell, 12 points, 7 assists. Doug McDermott, 13 points. And Aaron Holiday, 12 points. And Goga Bitadze, Bitaze, 10 points, 7 rebounds. So the starters here for the Pacers, very lackluster. They've really got nothing. Karis LeVert's not really pushing them over the edge like we were kind of hoping he would. Domantas Sabonis isn't kind of being like Luka Doncic, who's just kind of every single game giving us very close to triple doubles and getting it done in kind of the bulk of the scoring department. So can't really be the kind of the leading scorer here. Karis LeVert's not kind of being that leading scorer you wish he would be, and they don't have anything on this team. So Pacers are lackluster like always. Alrighty, then we go to the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves, the only game that we hit last night in our 3-team moneymaker. Grizzlies minus 6.5. They win by 12. Very well done. So let's start here with the Grizzlies. Ja Morant, only 11 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, and 42% shooting. So not taking a lot of shots, only 7, but just kind of being the facilitator and the defender out there. So well done. Grayson Allen did end up playing. It was a game-time decision, and we were kind of, we were still in if he was in if he was out. It didn't really make a difference, but he had a great game out here. 15 points on 5 of 7 from 3. Very well done. That's the only thing we need him to do. Decent defender. Hit the threes when you're open. Hit the threes when Ja Morant passes you the ball. That's it. So great night by Grayson Allen here. Jonas Valanciunas, great night. 19 points, 11 rebounds, getting it done. Kyle Anderson, little lackluster here. 7 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. So that's all good, but very inefficient with the only 25% from the field. And then Dylan Brooks, 12 points, 3 assists, decent defender out there. Once again, a little inefficient with the 38% from the field, but hey, at the end of the day, he got it done, so we'll give it to him. And then look at this bench scoring, folks. Yes, sir. Not a big fan of this bench, but hey, if they're going to be putting up performances like this, we can get beyond this bench real quick. So, Brandon Clark, 11 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. Xavier Tillman, 12 points, 4 rebounds. DeAnthony Melton, 14 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. And let's even shout out Desmond Bane. He didn't even have 10 plus points, but 6.7 rebounds. I'll take that in 18 minutes. And then Tyus Jones here, 11 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. So holy moly, a great night here by the bench. Really kind of propels them, and a decent night by the starters. So Grizzlies finally at 500 again. Classic Grizzlies will always fall a game below 500 to get to 500 to a game above 500 and then repeat the cycle again. This Timberwolves team is very lackluster, but this is a nice kind of building point for this bench. So let's see if they can kind of keep it up here, because then we can start talking about this Grizzlies team as one of the top tier teams in this league and maybe even get them into our power rankings at some point this season. But we need their bench to be kind of exactly like this on a nightly basis. So we'll see if they can can continue this type of play here. But we got to start to see him do it against good teams and not just Timberwolves. You know what I mean? So let's talk about the Timberwolves now. Karl Anthony Towns does his thing. 30 points, 16 rebounds. Great night by him. Anthony Edwards also had a pretty great night. 22 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds on 2 of 3 from 3, and 64% overall. So those two got it done. But once again, I mean, this team is not deep, folks. I mean, the next leading scorer was 18 points, Naz Reid off the bench. And then the fourth leading scorer was 9 points of Jalen Noel off the bench. So Malik Beasley, 5 points, 3 rebounds on 16% shooting, did not get it done. Jordan McLaughlin, 6 points on 40% shooting, only took 5 shots, so not a lot of points there. And then J.D. McDaniels, once again, only took 4 shots, only 7 points. So the scoring really is not well-rounded on this team, which we know, very lackluster from top to bottom. Yes, they have Karl Anthony Towns. Anthony Edwards, the rookie, is kind of, hit and miss, kind of can string like 2 or 3 good games together, but that's really it. So very underwhelming Timberwolves team. Thank goodness the Grizzlies won. Alrighty, let's keep going here. Hawks and the Pelicans. Let's start with the Hawks. They won the game 126-103 here over the Pelicans. Nobody playing for this Pelicans team. No Lonzo Ball. No Zion Williamson, no Steven Adams, no Brandon Ingram, and so no wonder why they lose this game. But let's start with the Hawks. They didn't even have Trae Young, and they still get the win. But they still have Clint Capella, so I guess that's why. But let's see who steps it up here. Lou Williams also did play as well off the bench. But here we go. Brandon Goodwin filling in for Trae Young. 10 points, 5 assists on 40% shooting. All right, little lackluster of what Trae Young brings to the table. Bogdanovich, he's having great success out here, man. He's getting it done. 26 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds on 6 of 11 from 3. He's been having some great performances these last 2 games, been getting it done. So if he can still play at this level of play, I mean, with the addition of Lou Williams, now we're talking about a decent team here that can potentially make a decent playoff run. All right, Clint Capella, 14 points, 10 rebounds. Solomon Hill, 7 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. And then Kevin Huerter back in the starting lineup at the 3, 24 points on 66% shooting and 2 of 5 from 3. So very well done. Everybody's stepping it up here. Bogdanovich has a great game. Kevin Huerter has a great game. And then we get to the bench. Lou Williams, 19 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds on 53% shooting and 1 of 1 from 3. Magnificent work out there. That's what this Hawks team needed. A reliable scorer off the bench. And Lou Williams, now that he's acquainted, has a game under his belt, having great performances out here. Love it. And then also off the bench, Tony Snell for 10 points, 4 rebounds. And Onyeka Okongwu, 11 points and 9 rebounds. So absolutely magnificent game here by the Hawks. Everybody getting it done. Now let's go to the Pelicans here. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, lackluster game here. 12 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds on 20% shooting and 2 of 8 from 3. Would have liked to seen this man step it up a little bit. We're kind of praising him kind of a lot here on the show a little bit. Definitely need to see him, with the starters a little bit more, depending on what's going to happen with Lonzo Ball. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker trying to do his thing here with the B team, just couldn't quite get it done. Eric Bledsoe, 14 points on inefficient shooting, 0 of 5 from 3, 35% overall from the field, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Jackson Hayes in the starting center position, getting 26 big old points here. or 26 big old minutes here. 12 points, 4 rebounds on 4 of 9 shooting. Wish he was a little bit better out there. A minus 10 in a 23-point loss, so not terrible on the defensive end there. James Johnson, 16 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. He was efficient. Great night by him. And then Najee Marshall here, 9 points on not efficient shooting, 5 rebounds to go along with that. Also off the bench, we get Kiara Lewis Jr., 21 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds on 56% shooting off the bench. And Wes Iwundu, 10 points and 2 assists. So we'll see what happens with this Pelicans team when Lonzo Ball, if he becomes healthy, what happens with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, what happens with Isaiah Thomas when he gets here. So some definite question marks here for the Pelicans trying to make that late playoff push. They are currently the 12th seed here in the West. They are 2 games out from that 10th seed for the play-in tournament. So we'll see how they finish this back half of the season, but they definitely have their work cut out for them. Alrighty, let's move on to Bulls and the Jazz. And man, oh man, Vucevic is here, and that's 3 strikes, 3 straight losses for this Bulls team. So truly, truly unfortunate here. Thaddeus Young in the starting lineup, Zach LaVine back, and they still can't beat this Jazz team. Truly unfortunate that they had to run into the Jazz. I mean, the Bulls can't even get a win with their newly acquired pieces, and it's tough enough trying to go against, one of the top tier teams in the league. So let's start here with the Jazz, and then we'll see what's going on with the Bulls. But Mike Conley, 13 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. Decent night by him. Donovan Mitchell back healthy, or I think was out for personal reasons, but 26 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Wasn't efficient, but I'll give him the 26 points there. Rudy Gobert, 19 points, 13 rebounds. Great night by him. Royce O'Neal, 2 points, 6 rebounds, but just a nice defense out there, plus 14. And then Bojan Bogdanovic, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Off the bench, we get Jordan Clarkson, 19 points, 2 rebounds. Great night by him. Classic night by him, I should say. So yeah, great night by the Jazz. I mean, everybody doing their thing here. I mean, this is a classic Jazz game, and they get the job done in a nice kind of, what do we got here, 7-point win. So truly unfortunate here by the Bulls. They're trying, but they just cannot kind of, all right, how do we win? How do we all work together? So let's break down this Bulls team. This is the lineup that they went with. Thomas Satoransky at the starting 1, Zach LaVine at the 2, Patrick Williams at the 3, Thaddeus Young at the 4, and Vucevic at the 5. So still interesting here. So let's see what happens here. Thomas Satoransky, 10 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds on very good shooting, 80%, so a great night by him. Zach LaVine, 23 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. He shot 2 of 8 from 3. What could have been a little bit better, but he shot 45% from the field, so not bad overall. And then Vucevic here, 16 points, 4 assists, 8 rebounds. Not shooting particularly well out here. 35%, 1 of 5 from 3. Needed it to be a little bit better on the defensive end. Rudy Gobert having great success out there. Thaddeus Young, 25 points, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, and he's a plus 11 in 32 minutes on the floor. Yes! We're going to talk about this man in a second because because we are going to be covering the 6-man, our NBA 6-man, and man, oh man, he is getting elevated to that starting lineup, so I think that's going to affect his status because you can't play more than 40 games in the starting lineup, I think, or you have to have 40 games of playing off the bench or something like that to be eligible for the 6-man of the year. But man, oh man, Thaddeus Young, man, getting it done in the starting rotation, leading scorer for the squad, the leading plus minus on the floor, 7 rebounds to go along with that, efficient at 64%. Gotta give this man his credit. They just need these other pieces to start working well together. Patrick Williams, 8 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 3 rebounds to round out the starters for the Bulls. Alrighty, now let's start talking about the reserves because they are decently deep. Kobe White's now on the bench. Lauri Markkanen is on the bench now. Daniel Tice is newly acquired here coming off the bench. So let's see how they handle this game. Kobe White, 4 points. 3 assists, that's really it. Lauri Markkanen here, 5 points, 2 rebounds. They're not taking a lot of shots. Kobe White only took 6 shots. Lauri Markkanen only took 5 shots. Daniel Tice, 3 points, 5 rebounds on only 5 shots, but they're all playing 20-plus minutes out here off the bench. Need to be a little bit better. Then we get Denzel Valentine off the bench, 12 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Now that's what we're talking about. If Kobe White and Lauri Markkanen can get decent production here consistently off the bench, this could be a deadly, dangerous Bulls team, but Vucevic has to get a little bit better out here. And like we said, Kobe White and Lauri Markkanen out here need to get it done off the bench. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see what their final starting lineup's going to be. I think we've seen a different starting lineup every game that Vucevic has played since he's got here, and that's in part with Zach LaVine being out for that second game. Thaddeus Young, I think, with the newly acquired Daniel Tice that's now playing, so Thaddeus Young's probably going to be playing in that starting lineup a little bit more as well. But they got to start being a little bit more better on what they can do. So Bulls, another swing and a miss here. Alrighty, here we go. Suns and the Thunder, and Chris Paul faces his former team, and they just absolutely obliterate them. Suns win 140-103 over this Thunder team. So let's start here with the Suns in a huge blowout. Chris Paul, 17 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds on 100% shooting. 8 of 8 from the field, folks. 1 of 1 from 3. Magnificent work out there. Devin Booker, 32 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. Great night by him. 3 of 5 from 3, 55% overall from the field. DeAndre Ayton, 9 points, 7 rebounds. All right, we'll take that. A plus 15 on the floor as well. Jay Crowder, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 of 4 from 3 for him. And then Mikal Bridges, 17 points, 2 rebounds. Yes, sir. Whoops. So great overall night from the Suns team. And then look at this bench, folks. Cameron Payne, 9 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Cameron Johnson, 17 points. Torrey Craig, 7 points, 3 steals, 4 rebounds. I'll give it to that man. And then Dario Saric, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, man, oh man, this team, yes, sir. The bench is starting to get it done a little bit more consistently here. And, you know, we can always count on this starting lineup for the Suns. And now they're just forming a complete team. The points, the defense, they are getting it done, and they are still currently that number 2 seed. Unfortunately, the Jazz just keep winning when the Suns win, so they can't make up any ground here in the West, but very well done here for the Suns. This is truly a great team. All right, let's quickly talk about the Thunder now, because we know no Dort and no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, so no reason why this team should be winning. But let's shout out Theo Melendon now here. 33 points out here on efficient shooting, 5 of 7 from 3 and 55% overall. So great night by him. He stepped it up. Aleksej Pokusevski, 20 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Great night by him. He was efficient, 4 of 6 from 3 and 50% overall from the field. Unfortunately, nobody else kind of really got the memo. Isaiah Roby in the starting lineup, 2 points on 16% shooting. Moses Brown, 1 point on 0% shooting. And then Svi Mykhailiuk, 6 points on 28% shooting. So nothing else really great from this Thunder team. Classic Thunder, right? Classic Thunder without their main pieces. Alrighty, let's keep going on here. Last 2 games out here. Blazers and the Bucks. Blazers really letting me down hugely here. And we're going to talk about more of this game in a minute once we get to our MVP and 6th Man of the Year discussions. But man, oh man, we love Damian Lillard. But man, oh man, not a lackluster performance by him, but just truly unfortunate that they weren't really competitive throughout this entire game. The Bucks were really just dominant throughout this entire game. It wasn't like the Blazers had the lead and then they lost it like late in the 4th quarter. They never really even had the lead. So a little disappointed here by the Blazers, and I think we are going to have to knock Damian Lillard a little bit when we get to that MVP discussion. But let's talk about it first. Giannis in the Bucks, man. Giannis had an absolute magnificent game here, folks. 47 points, 12 rebounds on 85% shooting. His only misses were from the 3-point line. 0 of 3 from 3. So, all right, Giannis, rein it in a little bit. He was feeling himself. He's like, I got 47. I'm trying to hit 50, 53, 56. But the threes were not falling. Unfortunate. But overall, a great night by him. Chris Middleton also had a great night. While Giannis got 47, Chris Middleton was still able to get 20 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds on great shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, and 61% overall. So a great night by him. And Drew Holiday also was able to kind of get some great scoring out here as well. 22 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 of 6 from 3, and 64% overall. So great night. This is kind of what the Bucks' big 3 should be doing on a consistent basis. Obviously not to this extreme, because we're not going to expect Giannis to be putting up 47 points every night. But, 20 plus points for Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Drew Holiday. That's what this team needs. That's what their 3 best scorers should be, not Giannis, Brook Lopez, and maybe Dante DiVincenzo if he's having a great night. That's how you know things went a little bit wrong, if Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday are not getting it done. But great night by those three. Brook Lopez, 9 points, 3 rebounds. And then Dante DiVincenzo, 5 points. Once again, not great shooting by this man. 1 of 5 from 3 and 1 of 7 from the field. But he had 4 rebounds and 2 assists to go along with that. I guess not terrible. All right, then off their bench, obviously nothing great here because Giannis was hogging all the points out here. Thaddeus getting kind of knocked in the minutes. Only 7 minutes played last night, so a little unfortunate there. Bobby Portis, 6.7 rebounds. That's pretty decent. So Giannis just absolutely carrying the team in this game. So very well done to them. The Blazers had no answer. Nurkic was looking very slow and unathletic and a little beefy out there. Maybe he really hasn't kind of gotten into game shape ever since he's came back into the rotation out here. But let's talk about what happened here for the Blazers. Damian Lillard, 32 points, 3 steals, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and he shot 5 of 10 from 3 and 52% overall from the field. Just unfortunate, a minus 27 on the floor. The worst plus minus on the squad, and unfortunately just couldn't kind of get the defense needed on this team. Now I understand Damian Lillard, what is he going to do up against Giannis? He needs kind of his beef to help him out a little bit, and that's where they floundered. So a little unfortunate here. The Blazers, what is this, like a 18-point loss. Ugh, yikes. So bad here on the Blazers. CJ McCollum, 18 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds. Nurkic, 9 points, 11 rebounds on 28% shooting. Robert Covington, 18 points, 7 rebounds. And then Norman Powell, 12 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. 2 of 7 from 3. 33% overall from the field, so lackluster there. And then also no real great production from this bench, man, who is decently deep. I mean, I can get excited on this bench of Cantor, Carmelo Anthony, and Derrick Jones Jr. and Anthony Simons, but they never really got anything truly great out here. And it's Cantor, 2 points, 6 rebounds. Carmelo Anthony, 6 points on 16% shooting on 12 shots. Very, very not good. And then Derrick Jones Jr., 2 points, 3 rebounds, 0 of 3 from the field. Just nothing really great in his game. Consistent. We just love his athleticism. Can't really find where he fits out in this role here. Starters off the bench still can't get it. So lackluster night here by the Blazers bench, and great performance by Giannis. Carries them to a win. And then the last game of the night, the Lakers and the Kings. And the Kings are lackluster on offense for like the first time this season, only putting up 94 points. So let's start here with the Lakers. We heard the quote about Kuzma finally having a great game out here. 30 points in the starting lineup, 3 assists, 5 rebounds on 61% shooting, 4 of 7 from 3. Dennis Schroeder, 17 points, 8 assists, 4 steals, 4 rebounds. We just saw him decline to contract extension, so it seems like he does not want to play for this team, but a decent performance out here by him this game. KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, not terrible overall. And then Marc Gasol still clinging on to that starting center position out here. 5 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds. Alrighty, let's go to their bench now. Montrezl Harrell didn't even have that great of a game. 5 points, 10 rebounds on 28% shooting. Didn't even need him. Fantastic. And then Talen Horton-Tucker also off the bench, 15 points, 4 steals. We'll give it to that man. So decent night overall by the starters here for the Lakers. Finally, all these starters stepping it up with no LeBron James, AD, or Andre Drummond. 2 ADs, Anthony Davis, Andre Drummond. Alrighty, AD squared, if you will. But let's talk about this Kings team very quickly. De'Aaron Fox, only 12 points on 25% shooting. Tyrese Halliburton, 12 points, 5 assists. Not terrible. He shot 44%. Raquan Holmes, 11.7 rebounds. Harrison Barnes, 26 points on 90% shooting, 3 of 4 from 3. Fantastic. 5 assists and 5 rebounds to go along with that. And then Buddy Hield, only 7 points. So we see the inefficient shooting by De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. That's all you need to see for their only 95-point performance there. Usually when they're scoring high, Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox all got 20-plus points there. But Buddy Hield, only 7 points on 27% shooting, 1 of 9 from 3. Yikes. All right, and then off their bench, only Delon right here, 13 points. He was the only one that really did anything great. We can shout out Terrence Davis as well, 8 points, 5 rebounds off the bench. But a little unfortunate shooting night here by the Kings. Only hit 10 threes, very uncharacteristic of that team. So Lakers get the win, 115-94. Alrighty, let's see what's on tap today for the NBA. No nationally televised games because of March Madness, so unfortunate there. After Monday, hopefully we're back on consistent basis of the NBA on TV, nationally televised games, because March Madness is taking up all those slots. So here we go. This is what we got on tap tonight. We got the Mavericks and the Wizards, the Knicks and the Pistons, the Heat and the Cavs. Oh my goodness, we're taking the Heat all day. We'll swallow whatever they want us to there. 76ers and the Timberwolves, I think we'll be swallowing points there. Spurs, Pacers, Jazz, Magic, Blazers, Thunder. Hopefully the Blazers can get back on track there. And the Bucks and the Kings to finish off the night. So let's get a nice moneymaker going today. Here it is. Here's our reminder for what we got in March Madness today. Houston +5, Gonzaga -14.5. So let's start talking about what we can do to make some money here in the NBA. So the first game up on deck, Mavericks, Wizards. Mavericks -5, Wizards +5. Alrighty, let's see here. JJ Redick is a game time decision. He was a game time decision in just yesterday. What did he do for them? Did we even call him? I don't think we called him. Yeah, we didn't. So he did not play yesterday, so hopefully he is good to go today. On a back-to-back here for the Mavericks, so probably we'll stay away from them. Willie Cauley-Stein is also still out for the Mavericks, but Porzingis and Doncic are good to go. And then for the Wizards, Bradley Beal is a game-time decision with the hip, so we'll see if he plays. But Mavericks on a back-to-back, we'll stay away from this one. They should have no trouble covering the spread, but like we said, back-to-back, we'll stay away from it and see if we can get better value elsewhere. All right, then we go to the Knicks and the Pistons. We just saw that very lackluster performance by the Knicks last night, facing a little bit of a lackluster team in the Pistons, so hopefully they can get it back on track here. Everybody's really good to go for the Knicks. Just Mitchell Robinson is out, and then for the Pistons, Rodney McGruder is still out. So basically everybody's good to go for both of these teams. Do we bet on the Knicks to snap this 3-game losing streak? This Pistons team just beat the Wizards. I mean, this Pistons team is very lackluster, but we got to see this Knicks team get back on track. If they can't beat this Pistons team, man, oh man, truly unfortunate. Just get them out of the playoffs now, but we'll swallow the 1.5 and assume the Knicks get back on track here with a nice win. Alrighty, Timberwolves and the 76ers now. Alrighty, 12-point spread here. Timberwolves +12, 76ers -12, and you know Joel Embiid is back in the mother-loving lineup, baby. Game time decision, and I think he's good to go, folks. Let's double-check this. I think they kind of basically said a couple of days ago that he is going to make his return, but let's see. Ooh, Porzingis is out Saturday. That's brand new, up-to-date 3 minutes ago. So definitely glad that we stayed away from that spread over there with the Mavs and the Wizards. But what else do we get here? We get any firm note on Joel Embiid? Because if Joel Embiid back, I'll swallow the 12.5. I got no problem with that, especially with everybody's going to go for the 76ers. Oh, look at this. Ricky Rubio game time decision, but D'Angelo Russell game time decision. Is he going to be making his debut today? Finally? A little bit too late out here for him to try to make a big old push in the playoffs, but getting right for next season, I guess. All right, we're getting no firm update, but I'm almost certain he's good to go. So we're going to take the 76ers -12 here. Joel Embiid's first game back. Let's rock with it. All right, then we get the Cavs and the Heat, and like we said, we're going to be swallowing points here too. Larry Nance Jr. out. Jarrett Allen is still out, so you know what that mother-loving means, baby, and everybody's good to go for this Heat team. So yes, sir, Heat -12, absolutely swallow that, no worries. Man, oh man, this Cavs team is very lackluster offensively, folks. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. What else do we get? Pacers and the Spurs. Pacers +5, Spurs -5. Let's see who's in and out here. I mean, we're probably going to stay away from this one. We can't trust this Pacers team, folks. We say this every day, and we mean it every day. Jeremy Lamb, game time decision. Malcolm Brogdon, game time decision. Domantas Sabonis, game time decision for the Pacers. And then for the Spurs, just the usual suspects are out there. So, going to stay away from this one. Don't like betting the Spurs. They're very hit and miss, and the Pacers can't beat any good team. So, we'll stay away from this game. Magic, Jazz next up. Magic plus 15, Jazz minus 15. Are we going to be swallowing a lot of points here today? Probably not, because the Magic have been kind of doing decent here ever since the trade deadline of losing everybody. Everybody's been stepping it up. Terrence Ross is a game-time decision for the Magic. Kem Birch is a game-time decision. Michael Carter-Williams is a game-time decision. Gary Harris is out. And Kareem Maine, a game-time decision. So a lot of people, game-time decision for the Magic, where everybody's really good to go for the Jazz, but they are in a back-to-back. So we're not going to swallow the 15 here for the Jazz. The Magic plus 15 seems very intriguing to me, but we'll just stay away from it in total just because we got other great value, I think, already. All right, then we get the Bucks and the Kings. Bucks minus 6.5, Kings plus 6.5. PJ Tucker's a game-time decision, so I'm assuming he's going to play on the second on a back-to-back. And then for the Kings, Hassan Whiteside is a game-time decision. So this Bucks team minus 6.5 points just had an absolutely great performance last night against the Blazers. Hopefully they don't kind of, be underwhelming in this game, but I can't really trust this Kings team against good competition, and this Bucks team is good competition. So we'll swallow the 6.5 here for the Bucks and be true believers tonight. And then the last game of the night, Thunder and the Blazers. Thunder plus 11.5, Blazers minus 11.5. For the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still out. Luguentz Dort is a game-time decision, so we'll see if he's good to go. And then for the Blazers, Zach Collins is out, and that is it. So we're just going to kind of watch this game from the sideline. We're not going to bet it. We've already got 4 teams up here in our moneymaker, and we're not going to swallow 11.5 by the Blazers of just kind of disappointing us in our moneymaker last night. So we'll watch them get back on track and then go from there. But this is what we got tonight on our moneymaker. Knicks minus 1.5, 76ers minus 12, Heat minus 12, and the Bucks minus 6.5, swallowing all these points tonight. Alrighty, let's go to our MVP race and 6th man of the year discussion. Alrighty, let's get back on track on this. We haven't really updated our MVP race in a week and a half, but this is kind of where we left it off. James Harden at 1, Joel Embiid at 2, Damian Lillard at 3. We took all their kind of stats of what they're doing this season, and then we looked at kind of their strength of schedule and counted out some quality wins, which I think we classified it as the top 6 teams in the East and the West, and that's how we got to Harden at 1, Joel Embiid at 2, and Damian Lillard at 3. That was the last of kind of where we left off on our MVP discussion. Now, what we're going to do and how we're going to kind of round out this last half of the back half of the season here with our MVP race and what we're going to do for the 6th man once we're done with the MVP today. We're going to judge all their performances on individual bases for the rest of the games. We're going to update this every single day now, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to be ranking the game performances for the rest of the season on a -5 to +5 point scale, and whoever has the most points come the end of the season, that's how we're going to decide who should be the MVP in our eyes. Now, you get 2 points for a win. If your team wins, you automatically get 2 points, and then we'll start kind of critiquing how you looked compared against your opponents, how you fared with the rest of your team. Were you the reason why you won it? Did you hit the game-winning shot? And based off of that, we'll start moving you, closer to 5 points or more towards the -5 points. So you get the win, you get 2 points, you perform very well, we'll start moving you up maybe 3, 4, or 5 points for that game alone, and that's how we're going to go. You lose the game, you get -2 points, and then we'll start to, you played very well, maybe you just didn't hit that buzzer beater, so maybe we can give you a -1, maybe even a 0, or maybe, maybe they dropped 50 points and 10 rebounds and 12 assists and they lost by 1. Maybe we can even give them a +1 for that performance. So that's how we're going to judge it throughout the rest of the season. That's how our kind of point system is going to work here. But before we start dishing out points for what just happened last night in the NBA, let's kind of get our solid MVP rankings here. So we are going to have to move Joel Embiid down a little bit here because he's been out for these last couple of games here. So we are going to substitute Damian Lillard in for that number 2 seed. We're still keeping James Harden at number 1. He has missed the last couple of games as well. I think the last 2 games, but we're going to kind of write that off. We'll let that slide. Joel Embiid has missed, I think, the last 7 games. He is coming back tonight, so he can kind of, work his way back up here in the MVP race ladder. But let's put Joel Embiid down here at number 3. And then we are also going to add some other players up here. we're going to put Giannis here into the mix at number 4. And Jokic into the mix here at number 5. Now, Jokic is definitely going to have a tough climb out here to get to that MVP just because they brought in Aaron Gordon, and so far he's kind of splitting his production with Aaron Gordon. Now it's leading to the wins, which is great. That's all we want to see. I mean, I'm sure Jokic wants to win over getting the MVP, but it is going to make his kind of climb a little bit larger here. So, since this is kind of what our final MVP race is going to be until we start adding all these extra points, let's start off these players with some points. We're going to give James Harden 5 points here off the rip since he's number 1 and there's 5 players. That means we'll give Damian Lillard 4 points off the rip right here. Kind of starting here in our newfound MVP race point system that we kind of want to, this is kind of how we want to talk about the MVP race coming in the back half of the season. So we'll give Joel Embiid 3 points here. We'll give Giannis 2 points. And we'll give Jokic one little old measly old point here. Alrighty. So this is kind of our, starting points, but we just had NBA on last night, and we had some players playing in our MVP race, so let's kind of start implementing our point system here to our NBA MVP race. So last night, Giannis and Damian Lillard faced off head-to-head, and not great for Damian Lillard, who, in our opinion, is a little bit of a clear front-runner over Giannis. So let's start here. James Harden in a play, so let's we won't start with him. We'll start here with Damian Lillard. Alrighty. Well, he gets a loss. So we got to start giving him -2 points right off the rip. Now, how did he fare for the rest of his team? He led his team in points, but also led his team in the plus-minus at a -27. So the defense wasn't there on the floor. His offense production Damian Lillard's was. The bench was very, very lackluster here for the Blazers. A kind of a key reason why this team was off. Nurkic also, not being able to kind of handle the beef of Giannis. Same thing with kind of Robert Covington not being able to kind of handle what Giannis did last night. So we are going to give Damian Lillard -2 for the loss. And I think we're gonna give him maybe a +1 for his production here out on the floor. 32 points, 3 steals, 5 assists, 4 rebounds overall on 52% shooting and 5 of 10 from 3. Overall, it was a decent kind of offensive night from Damian Lillard. Just truly unfortunate that they lost the game. So I think we're going to be subtracting 1 point from Damian Lillard, the -2 for the loss, but a +1 for a decent performance overall. So we'll give him, put that plus-minus though. Maybe we should just keep it at -2. That -27 on the floor, man. 27 points in only a, what do we got here? An 18-point loss. So actually we are going to keep it -2 for Damian Lillard, folks. We're going to keep it a -2 for Damian Lillard. So Damian Lillard had 4 points going into last night's game, but we're going to subtract 2. So now he is at 2 points here. And we'll rearrange these rankings right at the end. Joel Embiid did not play last night, or the team didn't even play last night. But he's going to start off. Hopefully tonight he plays. If you don't play, we are going to count it as a -3. Let's not mark that as kind of one of our rules here. -3 for not playing. Should we go actually to the extreme of like -4? No, we'll leave it at -3. We'll leave it at -3 for not playing. I mean, folks, you got to start playing some of these games here. We're going to give everybody a fresh start since this is kind of like the week after the All-Star break or the week after the trade deadline where, everybody's kind of, all right, what is our true identity now with these new players? Now that we've lost some players, we've kind of had a week to kind of solidify our matchup, our kind of rotation. So this is kind of where we're starting it right now, these kind of point spreads in these point systems. So Joel Embiid is going to kind of get the benefit of the out there of kind of that week stretch of him not playing, that kind of 2-week stretch of him not playing, but we got to see him back in the lineup. If he doesn't play tonight, we're going to give him -3 points. So we'll see what he does tonight, but he should be playing. All right. Giannis did play last night once again, like we said, against head-to-head against Damian Lillard. So Giannis, 2 points for a win, and man, oh man, this production out here. 47 points, 12 rebounds, 85% shooting, a huge reason why the Bucks won this game. A plus 17 on the floor, a true disruptor, and like we said, that 47-point performance. I mean, what more could we want from this man? So we're going to give him the +2 for the win, and I think we're going to give him 2 points there for that great old performance that he had. So a total of 4 points for Giannis, a +4 out of a potential +5 points for this man. So he had 2 points going in, and now he is at 6 points. So very well done to him. And like we said, also the Nuggets did not play last night. So our new MVP race up to date now. We're going to slide Giannis into the starting spot here. Probably should have started off some of these other players with some more points here, unfortunately. Giannis goes to 1 with 6 points. James Harden drops down to 2 with 4 points. All right, number 3 is still going to stay Joel Embiid with 3 points. And then Damian Lillard falls down to number 4 with only 2 points. All righty, so that's how we are going to leave it here for today. Congratulations for Giannis for getting that MVP spot so far. And we'll see what everybody can do moving on. Alrighty, so our new MVP race, Giannis 1, Harden 2, Joel Embiid 3, Lillard 4, and Jokic at 5. Alrighty, now let's start talking about our NBA Sixth Man of the Year discussion. Now, let's list the players right here. And then we'll order them kind of based on what they do. And then the same thing, we're going to kind of start giving them points like we just did in that MVP race. So here we go. Our 4 kind of nominees here of who we think should be in this race, this discussion so far. Obviously, Jordan Clarkson, getting it done for the Jazz. Just absolutely magnificent. Great scoring potential out there. So Jordan Clarkson's a potential candidate. We're going to give Thaddeus Young a potential candidate here. Definitely just got to be, I mean, the only problem with Thaddeus Young is that he's on this Bulls team and they're barely winning games. So that's the only knock that we have on Thaddeus Young, but he's getting it done. He just got elevated to that starting lineup. Once again, may affect his kind of status here in the NBA Sixth Man of the Year, but he just had a great game last night, back in the starting rotation, and he's been getting it done consistently off the bench. It's just the Bulls are not winning games. Alrighty, then we're also going to be giving Montrezl Harrell a big old nod here. I love what this man is doing. He's probably besides LeBron James and Anthony Davis, this man is single-handedly the most consistent player besides those 2 big names for the Lakers. So love Montrezl Harrell here. And then, who I think has been getting kind of maybe a little bit of a snub here in the Sixth Man of the Year category is Tim Hardaway Jr. for the Mavericks. Now, he has played kind of a decent amount of starting rotations for that Mavericks team, but ever since he got knocked down to that bench, he's really been having great, consistent, efficient success off that bench. So I'm going to give Tim Hardaway Jr. a little bit of a nod here in the Sixth Man of the Year category. So here we go. Jordan Clarkson, Thaddeus Young, Montrezl Harrell, and Tim Hardaway Jr. Now we just have to order these a little bit, and then we'll look at give them their points based off their ordering, and then we'll look at what they did last night if they played and judge their performances there. So here we go. Jordan Clarkson is... I did Clarkson. Clarkson. All right, here we go. Jordan Clarkson. All right, what is he doing out here this season off the bench? Here we go. Off the bench, 25 minutes playing off the bench, played all 48 games off the bench, 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. So great scoring and good everything else. That's what we're talking about. So we'll leave him at 1 so far and see if Thaddeus Young is looking a little bit better than him. So let's see what Thaddeus Young is doing out here. All right, Thaddeus Young, he has played 10 games as a starter, but let's talk about the bench first. 33 games coming off the bench, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. That's all coming off the bench. And then these games where he's playing as the starter, 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. So absolutely great production out here. Points, rebounds, assists. He's getting it all done. Maybe a little bit better than Jordan Clarkson overall, who's just kind of front-loading those points a little bit with the 17. The 4 rebounds, the same amount as Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young has 2 more, and Thaddeus Young has 4 assists, where Jordan Clarkson's only got, 2 assists out here. So I think just based off of production, we're going to give Thaddeus Young the nod over Jordan Clarkson here, just for the totality of his game. Also, let's quickly look at their defensive efficiency out here. Just kind of based on 100%, their defensive rating that Basketball Reference gives them. They give Jordan Clarkson a 111 defensive rating, which is basically, points off of 100 possessions. And then Thaddeus Young, what is his defensive rating? 111 as well. So they're both good defensively, maybe even a little bit better for Thaddeus Young when he's in the starting rotation. And then the offensive efficiency, basically, offensive production off of 100 possessions. Thaddeus Young is getting done a little bit better out here, 120, 115, and Thaddeus Young is still only at 110. So I'm going to give it to Thaddeus Young over Jordan Clarkson. So we'll move Thaddeus Young to 2, Jordan Clarkson at 3. Or 2. All right, then let's go to Montrezl Harrell. How do we think he should be into this mix right here? Montrezl Harrell, here we go. Only started 1 game, but as coming off the bench in 48 games, 15 points, 6 rebounds, basically 7 and 1 assist. So once again, the points are there as well, and that great rebounding potential is also there. We see his defensive rating is 106, so better than Thaddeus Young and Jordan Clarkson, and his offensive rating is 128, better than both Jordan Clarkson and Thaddeus Young. So I think we're going to put Montrezl Harrell here in the leading 6th man of the year. Along with kind of their record right here, the Lakers are 31 wins, 18 losses. The Jazz, obviously 37 wins and 11 losses. So we are going to move Jordan Clarkson we're going to keep Jordan Clarkson at the number 2 just because of their record, and move Thaddeus Young down to the 3 because of their record. Like we said, this Bulls team, very, very lackluster in the winning department. If they start winning more games, we can move Thaddeus Young up a little bit more. But man, oh man, these 19 wins. So yes, it's great production by Thaddeus Young, but overall just not getting it done, not being enough to win. And I know the Lakers and the Jazz have a better overall team, but still, wins still play a little bit of a factor. So we'll drop Thaddeus Young down to 2, Jordan Clarkson drop that Thaddeus Young down to 3 and move Jordan Clarkson up to 2, just kind of off of record with kind of combined performance. And then Tim Hardaway Jr., just kind of want to shout him out a little bit. Because like I said, he did play a lot of games. He did play 19 games as a starter, only 27 off the bench. So that's a little bit of a knock on him for 6th man of the year, just because he's been in the starting rotation. But off the bench, 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists, and he's being a lot more efficient off the bench and a lot more consistent off the bench than he was with the starters. And that's really kind of helping them, because they need that great scoring off the bench, because you got Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis already good to go scoring department wise in the starting rotation. They just were a little lackluster off the bench. So ever since he really kind of made that switch from the starters to the bench, look, his minutes went down, but his production stayed the same. So he's becoming more efficient. So I do kind of want to, we'll leave Tim Hardaway Jr. here at number 4. But I do kind of want to start giving him some nods here and some respect in the 6th man of the year category. Alrighty, so we'll give Montrezl Harrell 4 points here for being number 1. Jordan Clarkson 3 points here for being number 2. Thaddeus Young 2 points for being number 3. And Tim Hardaway Jr. 1 point for being number 4. And then we'll start grading their performances on a game-to-game basis. Alrighty, 2 points for a win. 2 points for a win, and then we'll start judging you based on your performance. -2 points for a loss as well. Once again, judging your performance. If you did bad in the loss, we'll move you closer to the -5. If you did good in the loss, we'll try to move you closer to 0 and maybe even a positive. So here we go. Montrezl Harrell did play last night, so that's 2 points for a win for them. 2 points for a win for Montrezl Harrell, but nothing really great here. 5 points to 10 rebounds was great, but very, very inefficient shooting wise, only 28%, and we really, that's really uncharacteristic of this man. So we'll leave him at the 2 points there. We won't give him any more points for his production. The 10 points, I maybe was even thinking about moving him down to 1 point, but the 10 rebounds really saved him. So we'll give Montrezl Harrell 2 points out here, moving his total to 6. Jordan Clarkson also did play last night. Where is this Jazz game at? Right here, Jazz Bulls. All right, so what did Jordan Clarkson do? They won, so that's 2 points for him. And then his production, 19 points, 2 rebounds, classic Jordan Clarkson production out here. So we'll leave him at the 2 points there. Nothing really, amazing. If he had, maybe more assists or rebounds, we would have given him an extra point, but we'll give him 2 points out there. So 5 points still for Jordan Clarkson, still in second. Thaddeus Young did play last night. His team lost, unfortunately. He got up into the starting lineup as well, so not the greatest in a loss there. But he did play the best on his team here. So here we go. Thaddeus Young in the starting lineup, 25 points, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, 64% shooting, a plus 11 in a 7-point loss there, folks. So -2 for a loss, but I'm giving him 2 points for the production to cancel it all out at 0. So we'll still keep Thaddeus Young at only 2 points. And then Tim Hardaway Jr., they played last night. The Mavericks, they ended up beating the Knicks. And Tim Hardaway Jr. here, where are we at? Here off the bench, 14 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 3 rebounds on efficient shooting, 3 of 6 from 3, 55% overall. And he was the tied for 3rd leading scorer for this team. So we'll keep Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 2 points, and we won't give him an extra one for this performance. It's great. It's good. It's real good. Do we give him one more? Let's keep him at the 2 here for a win. Good, solid win out here for Tim Hardaway Jr. Maybe if he was the 3rd leading scorer. Maybe if he wasn't tied. But still, great production from him off the bench here for Tim Hardaway Jr. 14 points. Do we give him an extra? Do we give him 2 or 3 right here? 2 or 3? Let's give him 2. Let's give him 3, actually. Let's give him 2. We'll keep him at the 2 points there. So that brings him to 3 overall. So we'll move Thaddeus Young down to 2, or down to 4, and Tim Hardaway Jr. up to 3 here. All right. And Tim Hardaway Jr. moves up to 3. Alrighty. So that's how our current MVP voting and 6th man of the year is panning out so far. Giannis just overtook the MVP race with an absolute great game last night against the Blazers. And Montrezl Harrell will be their 6th man of the year currently. And we'll update this every day and see where we are at come the end of the season. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow live, noon Eastern, doing it all over again. So we'll see you then.